In this video, we're going to talk about creating and managing menus within WordPress. So menus are our navigation menus that our users are going to use to get around to the different pages and posts and content in our website. So in order to get to the menus interface, we're going to hover over Appearance and we're going to click on Menus. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to give our menu a name, right? So where menus are located on your website, similar to widgets, where menus are located is going to be defined by the theme that you're using. Now again, with our front-end builders, we're going to have a little bit of control over that. But in general, with WordPress templates, they're going to define, for example, a main menu with an area at the top where your main menu is going to be, and potentially maybe a footer menu at the bottom. And then with widgets, we can add in custom menus that would go in our sidebars and stuff like that. But generally where they're located is going to be defined by the theme. And the reason I say that is because if I create a main menu here, and I'll call it main menu, and click on create menu, you can see here that it says display location, right? And it gives me two options. One is top menu and one is the social links menu. So the reason that these two locations are available is because the WordPress 2017 theme has set up these two locations in the template files for me to use. So I'll show you how to kind of get a little more flexibility over that and kind of display menus wherever you want. But in general, we need to make sure that when we create a menu, we pick a location for it to be if it's going to be one of our main menus. So I've created a menu called main menu, and now I'm just going to say that I want it to be in the top menu, which is going to show up right here. And then we can choose whether or not we want to automatically add new pages to that menu as we create them. I really don't recommend doing that because generally you may not create pages in the order that you want them on the menu, but if you want them as you create a page to be automatically added to a menu, you can check that option. And then just click on Save. And now I can add menu items to my page, and there's a couple different ways I can do that. Right here, these are the pages that are in my system. So it shows me a tab that says most recent. I can view all, I can search for specific pages, but generally this is going to list the pages on your website. So if I check this box for the one page I've created, which is the home page, and I click add to menu, you can see that it added it to my menu. I can open up using this toggle. I can change the text in the menu. So if I wanted to say, if my home page, for example, is called Welcome to My Business, but on the menu I wanted it just to say home, I can change this navigation label. So this is when you want what shows up in the menu to be different than the actual page name, right? I can also add specific posts to my menu if I'd like, and that works pretty much the same way using this post interface. I can also add custom links. Now, I don't really recommend this because we don't want to send people away from our website, but if you did have a specific need to add a URL outside of your website, you can just type in the URL address, add in what the navigation label should be, and click on add to menu, and you can see now I have my link to Google right in my main menu. We can also add in our post categories. So let's say I wanted the breakfast blog category to be part of my menu. I would add that in, and then I can just click on Save Menu, and that's going to show up now on my page. So you can see I have my menu, home, Google, and breakfast, and it's all right there. If I go back to my menu screen, you can reorganize menu items just by dragging and dropping. So if I hit Save Menu now, you'll see that the page order on my menu has changed. And you can also make sub-menu items. So if you remember before when we were talking about pages, I talked about parent and sub-pages. So if I had a main services page and then I had individual services that were going to be their own pages where I would go into more detail, that is a page structure, but that doesn't necessarily mean that if I add them to my menu, it's going to be a drop-down. They're two separate things. So we have a parent-child interface with pages, and we also have a page-child interface with menu items, and we want to keep those similar, but we have to do it in both places. So in order to do that, in order to create a child or a drop-down in a menu, we just slightly indent this to the right. And now you'll see if I click Save Menu, the breakfast should be a drop-down item of my home menu. And you can see here now I have a down arrow. If I hover over home, it shows me the breakfast item. So I'll show you that again when we do the initial site setup. I'll show you how to kind of create your main menu and stuff like that. But it really is quite easy. So I'll just put that back. Again, you can rearrange these just by dragging and dropping. We can add pages, posts, custom links, and categories to our menu, and then we define which menu or which menu area this menu should show up by clicking on these. And you can create as many menus as you'd like, or navigation menus as you'd like, and put them into the different available areas. And if you have a lot of menus with a lot of different areas, you can click on this Manage Locations tab, and you can quickly define which menu should go in which area. So that's it for WordPress menus. As you can see, it's pretty simple. I'll go through an example of that when we get to the last video in this series, and we talk about the initial steps we want to take for every website that we set up.